let's turn this into this. Over the next few videos, I'm going to take you through the process that my brain took to transform this old pickup truck into a part-time RV for me. Not directly ham radio related, but sort of tangentially related to ham radio, because I intend to use this vehicle and its living space as a means for me to be at the drop zone and therefore be able to do parachute mobile, and at times to do parks on the air far away from home and be able to spend the night somewhere and not have to spend money on a hotel. So let me show you the process of this transformation. This is the back of a Ford Ranger with a 6.5-foot bed. Part of what I did this summer is I threw together a quick platform for me to be able to sleep in the back of this vehicle at night and to carry my stuff. This past summer, I put it together kind of quick and dirty. I needed something now, right? Now that it's winter, I have a little bit of time to properly measure this thing and lay out a proper plan for building it out in such a way that it actually maximizes the use of the space and still lets me do the things that I want to do out of it, like play radio. I'm bringing you along in the planning process. Hopefully this is useful to some of you. And with any luck, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I should have this thing completed and we'll be using it to do more active parks on the air type stuff. There are some problems that I know I need to fix. I bought the truck from my father-in-law's estate after he died this past year, and it didn't have this topper on it. So I found this topper on Facebook Marketplace, picked it up, put some weather stripping on it, fitted it to the cab, and so far, knock on wood, definitely worth the $50 that I paid for it. It has some issues. It has leaks on the windows, and there are a couple of places where the weather stripping is not quite sealing against the truck bed, so that's going to be project number 1. Project number 2, I'm going to measure this thing as accurately as I can, and I'm going to try to model it on paper because 3D modeling is not my strong suit. Another project I need to add to this entire buildup is I need to build some blackout curtains for the sides. I've seen a lot of videos about doing it, and I'm hoping to accomplish it in such a way that I can slide them on and slide them off to gain light inside of this thing when I'm playing parks on the air or when I'm at the drop zone, or close them off when I'm trying to sleep in the back of this vehicle. So now that I've cleaned the back of this truck up, I'm going to start measuring, making notes on my notepad, and we'll go from there. Now I have to figure out exactly what I want to do back here besides having a platform, a mattress, a fridge, and a battery, and then start planning around all that. I went ahead and made these off camera. One of my uncles taught me this a long time ago. Look, you grow up poor, you have to make do, right? Pen and paper or pencil and paper, whole lot cheaper than a computer, and it works. So here we have a visual representation of my truck bed. Wheel wells are on the side, the rest of it is laid out. This, for my use, not that it matters to you, 1 square is 3 inches of measured length. The truck bed is 70 by 54 inches. That works out to whatever that is in metric there. And I have three components that are a must. I have my bed, I have my fridge, and I have my battery. I went ahead and took measurements of them and then made visual representations of how they are against the same size, against the same scale. In this case, I can lay out my bed. I'm going to lay out my bed the length of the bed. I'm not so short that I can fit on the 54-inch side. If I were, this would be super convenient, right? But since I'm not, I'm going to go with this way. And in this case, I can go on the right side of the vehicle. The cab is that way, the tail is this way, right and left. The bed can go either there, centered, or there. There doesn't make much sense to put it in the center, as there wouldn't be any place for me to fit the width of the fridge, right? So I have to pick either on the left or the right. Based on how I sleep, putting it on the right-hand side makes more sense. So for now, my plan is to put it there, assuming everything else fits okay. I've used this setup a little bit before, not quite what I have right now, but something close enough that I know that the fridge is gonna go somewhere in here or somewhere in there. But since I'm planning on being on the right side of the truck for sleeping, I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out so the fridge is close to the cab, but not quite up on the cab. I need to give the fridge door, it swings up, a chance to open. And I can either swing it this way or that way. And then lastly, my battery, my homemade 280 amp hour battery. In the past, I have been putting it down here after measuring things and starting from a clean slate. I realized that I can probably put it here okay, and thereby gain all of this area as cargo area for my junk, the things that I'm gonna travel with. Also, the bed is elevated, so the space under the bed will also be part of the cargo area for my stuff. Now I just have to go make a platform for my bed. I have already cut my bed to fit the size that I want based on the platform that I made to make do for last year. And that worked out really well, so I'm not gonna change the size of the bed. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Obviously, I can't change the size of the fridge. I can probably change around the configuration of the battery to make it different in setup, but for now it's just going to stay the way it is. I'm going to go build the platform for this, and I'll come back to the video. And here we are. Platform is built. I'm not going to bore you with that. However, this is my old setup, or close to it. Here's the way it was, sort of. There was a frame very much like this one set up on this piece of plywood, and what I found out was that A, I was missing storage under the bed, and B, there was enough flex that I was waking up in the middle of the night, feeling the flex and thinking I was going to fall off the bed, even though there was no place to go. So I opted to rebuild it over winter, and this is part of the project, right? So this goes away. This is what I'm using as hopefully my bed going forward. I put 4 cross members instead of having anything going on the vertical, or on the length, if you will. Support for my head, and then my torso, my legs. This well in here will allow me to clear the wheel well and still give me some storage under the bed. And the same thing with this one, where this one is just there. I needed some support on the foot side, otherwise the flex would also get me, and I didn't want to deal with that. For now, there is no support at the very end of the platform, but I think this will work. This should work. I'm gonna put this in there and then put the fridge in there and then put the battery in there and see how it all plays out. And there you have it. Battery, fridge, bed. It seems to work out. There's a little echo in here right now, but we can fix that later with adding. And you can see that I can open up my fridge door, and I can't open it all the way, but enough that I can get food and drinks out of it, no problem. And if I want to go on this side, I can open it all the way. And bonus feature that I was not expecting. I was expecting to have to build some kind of a platform up here to use as a table for when I'm in the field. I can, set up the radio and whatnot. The top of that fridge is going to do just fine as a platform for a table. I can set up my iPad over here and the radio right over there and play radio all day. Not a problem. Now comes the puzzle of sorting everything else out. But before we go there, I'm going to build the distribution box for the power coming out of this battery. I need to power more than just the fridge. At the very minimum, I need to power the fridge, a couple of chargers for my phone and my iPad and my altimeters and whatnot. So USB-C and USB-A power. And I have a set of fans that I have cut the leads on their 12-volt fans, and I've cut the leads on them. Off the top of my head, I can think of 4 sets of Anderson power poles I'll need altogether, and probably 3 or 4 USB-C and USB-A ports. We're going to do that one on the next video. We'll catch you guys down the log. 7-3.